Dun dun.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to Keeping It Wills with Milz. This is the blueprint to life after a spinal cord injury. This is everything you won't find in the textbook.com. So guys, I have a really special guest. Her name is Kimberly Rose, and you can find her on Instagram. What is your Instagram?
My Instagram is IvyRose112.
And also, I know you have a YouTube channel. What is that?
Not Ivy.
Yes.
Yeah,
What is it?
you got
What is it?
Girl. Kimberly Rose. Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you go ahead and give her a follow. Follow her on Instagram and then subscribe to her YouTube channel because she has great content. And guys, she's a quad.
I am, y'all.
She's a quad. Chill.
Here's
So,
my proof.
so gang, I'm pretty nervous, guys. I'm nervous and excited that she's here just because I have other friends that, they're paraplegics and they're girls, right? But I've never had a quad friend like
Same.
ever. So it feels kind of cool that we have like the same function. And the reason why I did decide, to bring her to my podcast, guys, because I feel like she's everything that I aspire to be. She's a quad. She lives on her own. Let me say that again. And she has a master's degree. And not to say that, if you don't have a master's degree, you're not valuable, right? My dad doesn't. He just went to like the 5th grade. And I mean, he's very successful, right? But because I know how hard it is to go to school, like I went to U of H and you went to U of H as well,
Yeah,
right?
I did.
Um,
Cougs.
it's not an accessible place. These buildings are really old and it's not accessible. So I struggled a lot when I was there. So just to think about struggling for 6 years, it's a lot, right? So I really look up to you for doing that. And as many of you guys may know, I was trying to go to OT school. I didn't really get accepted. Well, I didn't get accepted, right? But that's like another story that, we can talk about. But yeah, that's why I decided to bring her, that way you guys can see that it is possible somebody that is a quad can go to school out of state, can go to school. Like, we don't have to depend on SSDI. I just want you to share your story and, I just want you to share your story pretty much.
I will. That was such a good intro. Y'all. Dang. Okay. Pressure.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'll let you talk because I just been talking this whole time.
You're fine. You're fine. So where do I start?
Put it right here.
Oh.
Yeah,
Sorry.
just make sure
Okay.
you're like you can hear yourself.
Okay, I can.
Yeah.
Can.
Okay.
Yes. So where do I start, girl?
Well, you can start with like letting us know first how you became a quadriplegic.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Okay, so how I became a quad. I was 18 and I was in a car accident when I was a freshman year in college. So
Okay.
I actually went out of state to Nashville, and I was 2 weeks in, and I was in a car accident, and I broke my neck. So I'm a C7 quad.
My phone fell.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I'll keep talking.
But I don't think I need it.
You don't
No,
need-
no.
Okay, I'll keep going then.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. So I have a C7 injury level, and so I'm a quad, y'all. I'm a quad. So I have paralysis in my hands and my legs. And so that made me a quadriplegic, the car accident I was in. What else? So I went back home. I did rehab for years, y'all. Rehab did not stop for like 4 or 5 years.
And you did occupational and physical therapy.
Yep. So I did OT, PT, and I went to that therapy for quite a long time. Even when I went back to school, I still went to.
You would go
Therapy.
over there to therapy.
Yeah. So I went there. I went to outpatient rehab, and so first I did inpatient, of course, and then I went back home, and then I did phase 2. I think that's what it's called. Tier
Yeah.
has that, where you go back inside inpatient again if you want to work on more goals.
And get stronger.
And get stronger. So I did that, and then I did outpatient. So, and I went back to school a year after my accident.
So you were a freshman in college, and then you had to drop all your classes,
Yep.
right?
Dropped everything.
You dropped everything, and then you did therapy for a whole year, and then you just went back
Yeah. So
out of state.
No, out of state. No, girl. So I went home, did therapy, and then I started at community college. So I had to start all over, and I didn't go to university. My mom put me in a community college. So I did that for 2 years,
Okay.
and I was still going to outpatient therapy while I was going to college, y'all, and it was rough.
Hard.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
It was hard, y'all.
Yeah.
On
I
every
can
level.
imagine.
Like
Yeah.
being 18, I was 19 at that time, and then starting over, being paralyzed. I mean, I just wanted to wear a shirt every day that said, I used to be able to walk, y'all. Like, I was you. You know, I'm just like you guys. But it just wasn't like that. It was so hard socially, mentally. Like, and then I didn't have, you know, on social media now, they have all these people that are proud of their disabilities. I didn't have any of that. It was a time where, like, I didn't have any role models in the community. So
Right.
it was so confusing. But yeah, it was 2 years at community college, going to therapy still.
What community college?
I went to Lone Star.
Lone Star. Oh, okay.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
Where'd you go? Did you go to community college?
Yeah, I did. I went to Houston Community, HCC.
HCC. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, girl. Yeah. So I went to. Sorry, let me keep the microphone up. Lone Star for 2 years. And I grew to love the people there. I mean, it was super accessible. It really was. And it was a smaller campus. And that's why I started there.
Okay.
So it wasn't as big as U of H. So then it was time to transfer. And I didn't want to leave because I was like, can I get
It's pretty scary.
I know. It is so scary, right?
Yeah, especially if you're not bathing yourself at the time, if you're not cooking for yourself or doing laundry, bowel program. So, I understand.
You understand, right? And U of H, if you haven't been there, it's huge.
And it's not accessible, guys. For shit, it's not.
It's not at all. So I was so terrified to leave I used to, like, when I finally transferred, I would still go to Lone Star and, like, study there or hang out with people because I didn't want to leave. But I eventually transferred. I went to U of H. I was there for another 3 years at U of H. So total, my undergraduate degree took me 5 years to get. And it was hard, y'all, accessibility wise. I enrolled with the Office of Accommodation. I can't remember the name.
The Student Center with
disabilities. Yeah.
The Disability Student Center.
Right. Yeah. That name. Yeah. So I enrolled with the Disability Center, and I got accommodations in class. So they gave me extra time. They gave
me a test.
Girl, yes. And they gave me a note taker because it was hard taking notes in class. Eventually.
That's a quad.
Okay. It was so difficult. But I remember some of my friends that were in college were my note takers. We became really close. And eventually, you know, I learned how to use a pen and I could keep up with the class with my hands. I got better with writing. But so also, you know, if you have a disability, don't be scared to enroll in the Office of Disability. Sorry, you guys. I keep moving around. You know, you would think, like, I'm in a wheelchair, I don't move that much. But I keep moving around, so this microphone keeps moving from my mouth. But so enroll in the Disability Center, y'all. Get those accommodations if you need them. Physical, mental, whatever disability you have. There are accommodations out there for you.
And they won't put it in your transcript. You know, that's I don't think it's legal for them to put it.
Yeah.
So don't feel embarrassed. Like, take advantage of it because I go to the restroom a lot, right? So I use that time to go to the restroom, honestly. And whenever you have a disability and you're not enrolled, you can't just leave the classroom. You can't just leave the test. You have to finish it, and then you can go to the restroom. So if you have any type of disability, I would definitely say, you know, get enrolled. Nobody knows. They're pretty discreet, and just don't feel embarrassed and take advantage of it.
Right. Talk to your teachers. I would have to go up to the teachers, and they would give me extra time. I would explain. They wouldn't even ask me too many questions about my disability.
No.
You know, they wouldn't. I mean,
they don't want to get sued.
They don't. And also, ours was pretty obvious, so they didn't give me a hard time about it. They were just kind of like, what do you need? You know, basically. And so I would go to the Disability Center to take my tests, and if you don't need the accommodations, don't use them, but just have them in place.
Because you never know. Like, what if you get sick? You have a UTI,
something might happen.
You just never know, or you have an accident that day.
Yeah, you just want to have it in your records so that if you do need the accommodations,
then it's there.
Yeah, it's there for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Absolutely. So, I had the accommodations. What else? So I graduated from U of H. And
did you pay for that undergrad?
No. So for when I went to community college, my parents paid out of pocket for that. And then when I went to U of H, I learned about DARS. And I'm like, wait.
What is DARS?
I'm like, what is DARS? I heard about it in the hospital. And when you're in the hospital, I mean, you hear stuff, but
you don't really listen.
You're not really listening to that. You're like, when am I going to walk? Okay. I don't care about all this other stuff you got to tell me.
Right.
And so, you know, later on in life, you start caring about what they said. You're like, what is so-and-so saying?
Wait, I need these type of resources.
Let me go back to the notes. So, I remember DARS, and DARS is a agency. It's a government agency. Really, it's statewide, and every state has a DARS.
Right.
And so it's a disability agency. They help people get back to work. So they help you. It's a vocational rehab is what they call it. So the ultimate goal is to go to work. But getting to work, they pay for whatever it takes for you to get a job. So
which means driving.
Driving is included, going to school, whatever it takes for you to go to work. Even living independently, living on campus, if you live in a dorm, they'll pay for that as well. And so if you have a disability and it's documented, you can get services from DARS.
For free.
For free, yes.
Yeah.
And so they paid for U of H for me. They paid for my undergraduate degree and grad school. They paid for both. So, but the thing is with them, the key is you have to be aggressive. You can't give up because they will take their time. They will. I mean, it will take a long time. They won't call you back sometimes. You have to advocate for yourself, really. And you have to just be on them, like for real. Let them know because that's what you deserve. You deserve that, you know? And so you're entitled to those services. So, so I got DARS to pay. DARS paid for my U of H degree. After a really long time, I was on the list for probably 6 months to a year. But they finally called me back. I got a counselor, and I let them know my goals, driving. I let them know I want to go to school.
So they paid for your driving?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you just got a car, didn't you?
Yes. That took a long time, too, honey, because my counselor was kind of like, you got a lot of goals, honey. Let's start with school, And so I was like, okay.
And they can't pay both at the same time. Right?
Well, so I've heard of that happening for people, but
it's pretty rare.
And my counselor was like, we're going to do school first, because her thing was, you don't have a car right now. And they didn't want to pay for me to go to driving school. And I don't have a car. And then I forget what I learned. So it made sense. But at the same time, I was like, let me make that decision. That's the whole thing. But so yes, keep the microphone up, Kim. So no, I didn't. They didn't pay for my driving. From the beginning. They did school. So school was the main goal.
Right. And that's the most expensive thing.
The most expensive.
So
right.
I would just do that. Yeah.
Right. So my plan was, let me finish school. When I get a job, I'll be able to pay for a car. And then once I can prove I have a car, then they'll pay for driving school. That was my whole mindset. So I'm like, go to school and finish and get a job. That was the goal.
Mm-hmm. What did you go to school for?
So I went to school. Initially, my undergraduate degree was biology.
Before your injury?
No, well, before my injury, but then when I went to U of H, I got a degree in biology. So my undergraduate degree is biology.
Oh, yeah?
And
okay.
So my senior year of college, I was like, what am I going to do with biology? I'm a quad. I'm not going to be in a lab.
Right.
I'm not going to be a doctor. I mean, I could. I'm not saying it can't happen.
Right.
But I knew it wasn't happening for me. Right.
Okay.
So I was like, in class, I'm like, what am I going to do? So I remember one of my classes, which was my favorite class, neuroscience. The teacher, he put up on the board a list of careers that were related to neuroscience. And I was like, let me look. And speech therapy was on there. And I was like, okay, I like to talk. And that doesn't seem like too hard.
Right.
maybe I'm not lifting people up. I'm not really sure, but that looks like something I could do. So I did some research and I'm like, whoa, this is a field I'd never heard of. And so I realized that I basically have to start all over because it has nothing. I mean, biology is involved, but it's so different. Like it's so many other components to it. So I graduated with my biology degree, and then I had to go back to school. But I didn't get another bachelor's degree.
Oh, no?
No. So they have something called a prerequisite. Not a prerequisite, I'm sorry. It's called a post-baccalaureate program. Post-bac program. So it's for people who have undergraduate degrees in something else. So if you studied education, psychology, whatever else, if you have a degree in something, you can do this post-baccalaureate program.
So I can do that.
Yeah, you can do it, definitely.
I have a bachelor's degree in kinesiology.
Yeah, so if you wanted to do speech therapy, it's basically like a sped-up program. You get all those courses that would take you 4 years in 1 year. All those prerequisite classes you take in a year. And I did it through U of H, so it was a 1-year program, and they basically get you ready for your master's. So they get you ready for grad school. And so it was rigorous. It was hard because we had to maintain at least A's and B's. We couldn't get less than a B. We had to take our GRE. They get you ready for grad school. And it was a really good program. It was hard, but it got me ready for grad school. And so when I finally finished the post-bac program, I had to apply for grad school, right? And actually, I didn't finish my post-bac program. I was applying for grad school.
Oh, really?
While I was in the post-bac program, yes. And so I applied to many schools, right? So I applied to schools in Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, California. I was applying everywhere.
You were trying to leave that far?
I mean, I knew that I needed to get into a graduate program by any means necessary, y'all. I was ready to go anywhere.
I love the energy.
I was ready, okay? I didn't know how it was going to happen, y'all, but I knew I was going to finish this, okay?
And she did.
And yes, I did. I just had to. I didn't know how because they didn't have any examples, right? We don't see too many quads moving away that, out of state.
Yeah.
And then also going to school, going to higher level, like getting a master's degree. So it was a lot of things that were challenging, okay? And I didn't really know how it was going to happen, but I just knew it was going to. So I applied to many schools and got many rejections. I'm going to be honest. I got a lot of hell no's. I did. And then I got accepted to a school in Virginia, Hampton University.
And that's pretty far. How far is it driving?
Driving is like 18 to 22 hours.
No.
Yeah, driving it's really far away.
And it's cold over there. So I know quad bodies do not like the cold.
Oh yeah, I was so scared. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, luckily they shut down school whenever it's snowing. We don't have to go in, so that's awesome. But
okay, good.
But still, when it's really cold, we still go. I mean, so I had to get used to that. That was a whole other thing. But yeah, moving away was really scary. I'm not gonna lie. And you never know what it's gonna be like. You can plan, but you never know what it's truly gonna be like till you get there. And it was so many challenges, so many. Just moving.
Right, and you didn't have no family over there, no friends. You were on your own.
No, I'm a Texas girl. Most of my family's from Texas. I don't know anybody over there. And my mom did tell me I had an aunt that maybe lived 2 hours away. I never saw her.
You never reached out?
No. Well, did I? No, I'm not going to even lie. I didn't reach out. I didn't know her.
Yeah.
So, no, I didn't really have family over there. My mom, though, would come and visit me pretty regularly. I flew home. The first 6 months I was there, I probably flew home 4 or 5 times, y'all. I was spending money just going home. I just wasn't comfortable there. And but eventually I did. Eventually I did get comfortable, and I will say that I learned so much about myself, and I grew so much as a person going through those challenges. I wouldn't change a thing. I would go through it again. Like, I learned so much about myself, just how resilient you can be, and learning how to be flexible. You learn about people, because people can be assholes. I was in this bubble of protection being at home. I had my family, I had friends, familiarity, right? People that I knew. And I really heard the word no from people. Like, no, I'm not helping you. And it really just hurt me because I'm so used
to people saying I'll help you.
Let me help you. And of course I met some nice people. Not everybody was jerks. Like my roommate that I lived with was awesome.
So you lived in an apartment or you lived in campus? How did that go?
Oh yeah. So I lived off campus. I lived in an apartment, probably 15 minutes away from campus.
So you said you didn't have a car. So how would you get there?
Honey, I did not have a car. So I hired transportation services. So I had a driver. That it was just a random person that I found on the internet, care.com, actually. So I put up an ad just saying I need help getting to and from school, and that was it. And most of the people that responded were like, you don't need help with feeding, or they were used to doing more. They were like, all you need is just a ride. I was like, yes. And a lot of them just wouldn't take the job because it wasn't enough. And so I did find a few drivers that were helpful. My roommate was awesome, and she would help me when she could get to class. But I did have a regular driver, but it was different people. I had Uber. I used Uber a lot. When I look back and see how many rides I had, y'all, I had 50 some rides. I was spending money. Okay. And so that was a challenge of its own, because you're having to explain to a new driver every day how to break your chair down,
how to help you transfer.
Right. It was so exhausting. And sometimes I would exchange numbers with really nice Uber drivers and be like, can you pick me up tomorrow?
Yeah.
At 10 o'clock for my class. And sometimes they'd be nice about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I had to do what I had to do, y'all. No car. That was really hard.
But you got it done.
I got it done, y'all. I got it done. I mean, I had to learn how to be comfortable. I'd never even used Uber at home. I was doing things. I'm like, who am I? I was doing stuff I'd never done. I was booking Uber. I mean, I had Uber drivers leave me. I get downstairs, they're gone. I had a deaf Uber driver. That was interesting. You just learn a lot.
Right.
Okay. Going through it.
Yeah. One time, guys, I went to Vegas, and the Uber driver charged me more and I was there on time, but he charged me more because we took time taking my wheelchair apart.
No, he didn't.
I was there on time, and he charged me the late fee because Uva, my sister that you met downstairs, it was taking her longer to put my chair because it was a different car. So, she had to be careful not to scratch it or anything like that. And he charged us a late fee.
That is such
I
BS.
know.
Oh my God, man.
Can you believe it?
Oh girl, no. I don't know.
I
if I
felt
would've paid
so
that.
uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's awful. There's people like that though. I mean, there's some great people. I've had one time I was having trouble transferring, and I told one Uber driver, like, "Can you just put your hands on my butt?" And he was like, "Ma'am, I don't think I can do that." And I'm like, "Just please, I'm giving you permission. Help me."
He's like, I don't want to go to
He's
jail.
like, "Ma'am, I don't know." I mean, one guy refused to pick me up because he said he was a diabetic and he wasn't able to lift me in the car. I was in New Orleans, and he was like, "I can't pick you up. I'm a diabetic." And I'm like, "Sir, So I had to ask random people on the street. I mean, you just as a wheelchair user, you just learn how to adapt. You have to. You know what I mean? You adjust to your situations. You know, you just have to get uncomfortable sometimes to get things done. You just do. And that's kind of what I learned being away from home. Yeah.
Okay, let me go ahead and apply to grad schools.
Yes, you can definitely, y'all. You can totally do it. I mean, the work is hard, but in a way, not as hard because you're more concentrated in an area. You're not, in undergrad, you're taking all these classes sometimes that don't even relate to what you're studying.
Right.
But this is more focused, and it's smaller classes too. And you don't have to go to classes as often. My classes were at night. I think most grad classes
Or at night.
are at night, yeah. And so that's good. So it leaves time during the day to study or go to work.
Stretch, do some PTOT, whatever you guys need.
Right.
Yeah. So how is it now that you have a job? Like you have like a job, but like a grown up job. And I think it's so awesome just because I know a lot of like my friends that, have a disability. They don't work. Right. And I feel because we have such really high injuries, like we have all the odds working against us. Right. I just think it's really inspirational. And I just want people to like know that, look, like there's somebody here in real life that went to school,
Yeah, girl. I mean, there are people like that, and I feel for them because it is hard. And I will say also before I say, talk about my job, it took me a long time to even be able to think about working, right? And I had to be okay with my body, get comfortable with myself. Using the bathroom, took 15, sometimes I would be there 20, depending on what I'm wearing. If I wore jeans, it was going to be about 20 minutes in the bathroom.
Yeah.
If I wore a dress,
5 minutes, 10, yeah.
It wouldn't be as long, so... it was a lot I had to get used to before I could even fathom going to a 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
So it's steps to it. And, if working is something you're interested in, hey, do it, or if you want to be at home, but.
Like if that's what makes you happy, then, we support.
We support it, whatever you want to do, but just know there are options out there. There's more out there for you,
Yeah, there's more than SSDI out there.
Yeah, follow your dreams, for sure. It may be different.
Yeah.
Right, but follow your dreams if that's what you want to do. If you want to, there are things to do. There are jobs out there for you. You can just make it work for you. So and let them know what it is that you need, right? So going back to my career, so I work as a speech language pathologist or speech therapist. Oh,
yeah. Or I mean, as long as you can hear yourself.
Okay.
Yes,
I can. So I work as a speech language pathologist or speech therapist. Whatever you want to say.
Speech therapist?
Yes.
That's what I've been telling everyone.
Okay, fine. Yes, that's what I usually say.
But that's what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the official name, is speech language pathologist because we work with both speech, language. We help people with communication disorders, right? And so with my job, I specifically work with children. So I work with middle school kids, and they have a variety of different communication disorders, right? We work with kids who have fluency disorders, so if they stutter, or if they clutter, that's talking too fast. That's what we call it.
I talk too fast in Spanish.
You do, yeah. So
yeah.
We call that cluttering. We also work with kids who are on the spectrum, so who have autism. So they might be high functioning or low functioning. They might be nonverbal. We have worked with kids who have articulation disorders, so problems with their sounds, language also, maybe difficulty understanding things or expressing themselves. So I see a variety of different disorders. I work with children who are deaf. So I see all kind of kids, and currently I work at 2 different schools.
Okay, and they're both middle schools?
Yes, so they're both middle schools, yes. It's a lot. I will say that. I'm not even going to sit here and lie. It's a lot on a daily basis, a lot on my body. I'm constantly just trying to figure out. I'm sorry. I'm constantly
just kind of like.
Okay, like this.
Yeah.
I'm constantly trying to figure out what works for me, like a good schedule, because it can just be so much. Just getting up ramps, breaking down your chair every day.
We got a little disconnected, guys.
Yeah, we
because
did.
camera difficulties. But anyways, we were talking about the ramps.
Yeah, so I have problems sometimes at work getting up the ramps. I have difficulty sometimes just moving around campus can just be challenging, and I'm always trying to figure out the best way I can maneuver around the school and figure out what works best for me, without complaining, because I don't want to seem inadequate, like I can't do my job. But in reality, there are challenges that I have. And so, I have to advocate for myself.
Right.
I have to speak up. They're hard, girl. I mean, my first year working, my mom drove me every day to work and she would help me up the ramps. This year, I decided to put on my big girl panties and drive myself. And so, yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's so hard when you're carrying a laptop, toys, books. You have so much stuff you have to carry. And so.
And you can't leave them there?
Well, I work at 2 schools, and so I have to bring stuff back and forth. I've thought about it, but I'd have to buy 2 of everything, y'all. And the way my wallet works, I'm not doing that. I'm not, but I do try to leave some stuff. I don't always finish work at work. I take stuff home. It's a lot of, with my job, it's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of stuff.
Right.
So it's just hard to kind of get it all done in one work day. So I wish I could leave stuff there because that would make it easier.
Yeah, I was telling her that she should probably think about getting the smart drive.
Oh, yes.
Because I think that would be very helpful. But, yeah.
I have to get a PT evaluation?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I got to do. And all summer, y'all, I've known about it, but I've just, when work ended last school year, I don't know what happened over the summer, but I didn't think about my job. And so I should have been thinking about the smart drive, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah, smart drive.
The smart drive. I should have been thinking about more of that kind of stuff, but I didn't. I just let go of it and just was at peace, working on other things in my life.
Right.
But yeah, I need to get that. I need to work on getting the smart drive because that would help me up the ramps.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. Mm-hmm. It helped me going to U of H. That's what I used every day.
Girl, yes, because it's hard on my shoulders. I'm so scared that my arms are going to go out one day on me.
And that's all we have.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. I've been having shoulder pain. I'm like, is it age or what? What is it?
Yeah, I've been more careful about that because I do have like an older friend that has been living with a disability for a good, I want to say 30 years, right? And she's complaining now about her wrist.
Oh, God.
And she's a paraplegic. So I can only imagine the pain that we might feel in the future. Yeah. So that's why when I work out, I don't really like go up ramps anymore. I do more kind of like I lift weights. I don't really if I don't need to strain my wrist, then I don't.
Right. Yeah. We have to protect our body.
Yeah.
We have to.
I don't know how I'm going to age. So,
Exactly.
And then looking at her, she was like a paraplegic, like a T12. So she's pretty strong. So, and she's complaining about it now. I'm just like, I don't know. It's a little scary. I'm not going to lie,
Yeah, for sure. I think about the future all the time. And I'm like, what is it going to be like 30 years in a wheelchair, 40 years? Like, what is my body going to be like? Am I going to be getting in and out of my car, breaking it down, breaking my chair down?
Yeah.
When I'm that far in, I don't want to think about it sometimes.
Yeah, me neither. I'm like, okay, let me stop now.
I know.
Let me stop thinking about it. But I mean, we probably won't even get there, probably die tomorrow. I don't know,
No, this is morbid.
But I'm saying, you don't know. So let's not worry about it. Oh, let's not worry about it because we're not even there yet.
Absolutely.
Not negative. I wasn't trying to be negative.
I know. No, it's fine. I mean, it's reality. It's good to talk about.
What was that?
How long have you been in your wheelchair?
7 years.
7. Okay.
Yeah, I'll make 7 years in a couple of weeks, guys. October the 4th on my birthday.
Happy early life day.
Thank you. Wow. It was my birthday and my life day, so I was born and then I died again and then I was born. It was weird. Yeah.
Do you celebrate?
I do because it's my birthday.
Oh. Yes, of course you celebrate then.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. I'm not gonna lie. I'm happy that it's my birthday because I'm gonna eat cake, but then it's a little traumatic. I don't know. It's just a little sad. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I mean. Do you acknowledge that day? I know it's your birthday, but do you acknowledge it's your life day too?
Yeah, I think there's just feelings that I can't really ignore. I feel sad, and then I kind of replay the little moment, and then I kind of think to myself wait, would I have been doing this if I didn't have a car accident? And I'm like, no, there's no way I would have had a podcast.
Exactly.
There's no way because I never used to post anything on the internet. I didn't become a social butterfly on the internet after my accident.
Same here. I know for damn sure I wouldn't have had a YouTube channel.
Me neither. I was like, what?
No.
Well, I actually had some videos, but I would post little dumb little clips.
You would? Okay.
Yeah.
But look at you now, girl. Look at that. It probably gave you some confidence you never even thought you had. You discovered your strength that you never thought you had.
Yeah.
You just developed so much resilience. you know, after being disabled. You know what I mean? You just learn so much about yourself,
I feel like you're born again, so you kind of. I mean, I feel like a new person, honestly.
Yes.
So you have that option that you can literally be like another person.
Yeah,
you can be different.
change completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel you on that,
Like
girl.
you have that power. Like, well, I mean, yeah, I used to be like that, but I mean, I I honestly have like another chance. So if I want to be different, I can.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to think about it, girl. Absolutely. I didn't really celebrate my life day this year.
No?
No. Normally I do. So
Because of COVID or?
No, I just.
Well, that was last year. Yeah.
To me, I said I was gonna start.
Oh, when is your life day?
My life day.
I'm thinking your
September
life day
5th.
is your birthday.
Oh no, September 5th. So it just passed.
Oh.
Yeah. So normally, like,
that's a month before mine.
It's a month before yours.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yours was October 5th.
Well, it was like October going into the 5th.
Oh, okay.
Because I was going home for my birthday and I never made it home. Yeah.
Never made it home. It was a car accident.
Yeah, it's a car accident.
Was it a drunk driver?
No, it was my crazy ex-boyfriend.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Girl.
I have to go to the restroom.
Oh. Okay.
I like.
You have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Right now.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. You know what?
Look, I'm gonna stop recording. So we're back, guys. I had to go to the restroom. But you were asking me something about my accident, or
Yeah.
where were we at?
Yeah. So I was asking you about your accident. What happened? You told me it was your ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Did he try to kill you? What happened?
Okay, so let me just make this short because if you Google my name, like Mildred Trejo, it's gonna say like, oh, paralyzed drunk driving accident. And I just don't like that. Like, yeah, he was drinking that night, right? But okay, he was drinking, right? But he was supposed to be my designated driver, my DD, and he just didn't, I mean, he clearly wasn't, right? No, not at all. But I just feel like I drink, right? And I don't go over there crashing into a car, right? And that's the way I look at it. Like, no, like he didn't do that because he was drunk. He did that because he was just an asshole.
You think so, girl?
Yeah. Like you just don't. I don't be doing that. Yeah. Like, do you get all crazy like that when you drink?
No, not at all. I mean, was he acting? Do you remember that night? Do you remember how he was acting in the car? Y'all fighting?
Well, I woke up because I was drunk that day because it was my birthday. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna drink. Like,
thank you for saying your birthday. I'm like, girl, what was life like before the chair? Okay, was your birthday.
Yeah, it was my birthday, and I was like, hey, it's my 21st birthday, so I'm gonna drink because it's like my 21st birthday. And I was like, but I just need to know before I get in your car. But like, we were sober, we were like outside wherever you parked, and I was like, hey, before I get in your car, like, you have to pinky promise me like that you're not gonna drink because you're gonna be the designated driver. Like, I'm not trying to take care of you. Like, I'm just gonna have fun. It's like, no, yeah. Like, I pinky promise. Like, like, you don't have to worry about it, right? Like, have fun. I'm like, okay, cool. So then the whole night, like, I wasn't really like paying attention to him. Like, I was just kind of like having fun with my friends. And then so sure enough, I remember me putting my seatbelt on, and then I told him, okay, so I put my seatbelt on, right? And then I fell asleep, and then I woke up like, it was like 5 minutes before getting to the house when I noticed that he was like driving like with his eyes closed, right? Like really close to the steering wheel. And I was like, dude, like, why did you drink so much? Like, I cannot believe that you're this drunk driving. Like, I cannot. So then I was like, you need to pull over because I feel like I'm in better conditions to drive. Like, you're ridiculous. And he was like, no, I'm not gonna pull over. And I took off my seatbelt, and I was like, no, you need to pull over now. He's like, no, I'm not gonna pull over. And we started to argue, and then he started to go really fast and just went diagonal into a pole, and we crossed the median. We crossed the street, and then he crashed into a pole.
Wow. Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive, and nothing happened to him. Like, he's an able-bodied. He's still like, yeah.
Like, it always happens like that.
Yeah, right.
God. Man, what a story, girl. But look at you now. Look at you now. You got this podcast that I'm on. You have a successful YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. You know what I mean? You've come a long way. You didn't let it stop you.
Thank you.
Yes, girl. I couldn't imagine, though. Were you awake during all of
that? Yeah, because I remember my head being on some guy's lap. He sounded a little cute at the time. He was like, he was really sweet, and I think it was a group of friends because I remember like 3 other girls, and they were just telling me to stay awake. They were like in a motorcycle group, I think, because I could hear I can hear the motorcycles, right?
Right.
Yeah. And he was like, no, stay awake, stay awake. Like, don't go to sleep. Like, you're going to be fine. Because I was panicking. So, no, like, don't worry about it. Like, the ambulance is going to get here. And then I remember telling him to call my dad. So then, sure enough, my dad gets there. And yeah, so I really think, like, he saved my life that night. So I wish I could find him.
Yes, I know. There's so many strangers that help me out, too. Not even strangers, but even in the hospital, right? ICU. There's so many people I wish I could go back and say thank you. We've probably interacted with so many people that have helped us on our journeys, girl. Yeah, man. Such a crazy story.
Yeah, it's a crazy one, but I mean,
I don't think I've heard that one.
No,
I've heard people getting hit by drunk drivers. I don't think I've heard of people
trusting someone.
Yes, getting in the car with somebody they know. And
yeah, I've
heard of it, obviously, but I've never heard anybody tell me that happened and that paralyzed them.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was somebody like that I loved at the time, or I thought I loved. I don't know. So it's weird. Yeah.
How was that getting over him?
Well, I mean, that's easy to get over. It's kind of like you just did all of this, dude. I just kind of felt like he, out of like everyone, knew how much I love to run. So like the fact that like he knew how much he took something away that I loved, was just really just like what did it for me. It's like, no, like that's do
you think he was trying to kill you that night?
He says he didn't, but I mean it was pretty obvious, like like you say you didn't, but look what you did, dude. Like,
Girl, but you were so resilient. Look at you. You've turned your tragedy into something beautiful. Okay, and you're helping other people. You've helped me. When I saw this girl, it was years ago, and I discovered her page, and I was like, oh my God, she's a quad. She's beautiful, and she went to my school. And I started following her instantly. I never thought this would happen. I did not. No, and I was like, I'm never going to meet her. Houston's big, but small too, especially disability community. And we've just never run into each other.
Yeah, never.
Not really.
And we go to the same places.
Yeah, we go to the same, which is weird. And so actually 2 weeks ago, I saw her. I was watching from my car. And I was like, I think that's her. I'm not going to say anything. And so I did see her out and about one time, but yeah, this is awesome getting to meet you, and you have helped so many people like me. You really have, and you should be proud of yourself. Really.
Thank you.
For real.
Thank you for being here, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really, really appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here, girl. It feels so good being able to connect with somebody, that's in the community and somebody who I actually can relate to, especially she likes to shop. She likes education. She wants to go to school and better herself, which I think is a beautiful thing. And she just wants so much for herself. You're ambitious. We have so many things in common.
Yeah, we do, right?
We do. And I think that's cool. So I would totally hang out with you outside of the chair.
Yeah, same.
And that's important to me because when I make friends with people that are in wheelchairs, I want to be your friend, not because we're in wheelchairs. I don't want that to be the only reason.
Right.
I want it to be because we actually have stuff in common.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think we do.
Yeah, because important. I feel like if you didn't okay, let's say like we weren't in a wheelchair, like I would still be your friend.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so. Actually, I was peeping something. Do you watch the show Little Women?
No.
What?
No.
You don't?
No.
Oh, I saw you like a picture.
Oh, really?
And I just started watching that show, and I was like, Milz watches that show too. Yeah. Dang it. No, never mind.
I probably liked what she was wearing or something.
It's the little, I'm talking about Little Women, the girls that are, shorter than average.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I thought you watched that show.
No, I don't really watch TV.
No? Nothing good on TV, girl? You don't watch?
No.
Well,
I'm more like a novela type of gal.
Oh.
Like every now and then, like if there's like a good like novela on. What is that in English?
Is that like a soap opera?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, soap opera. Cool. So you like that? Okay, that's cool.
Every now and then. But right now there hasn't been a good one out. But I wanted to go back to the topic of like talking about your job.
Sure, yes.
So I just wanted to see like what a typical day at work looks like. Is it really physical? I know it's hard to, get inside of the building, right? The ramps and everything. And even the doors. I feel like doors are pretty hard for quads. But like, okay, so once you're inside of like the classroom, like, is it really physical? Like, would you recommend it to like a quad? Like, what is there to expect? What does it look like?
Okay, very good question. I'm gonna break it down. So outside of the disability, a typical work day is a lot of work. Okay, being a speech language pathologist in the school setting is a lot.
Public school.
Yeah, so I work in a public school. And I say it's a lot because we have a lot of paperwork that you do. We have something called ARD meetings or IEP meetings, which place children with, in my case, communication disorders. We place them in the special education setting. And so we qualify them those that are qualified, we give them their speech services. And so we hold ARD meetings with the committee, such as like the special education chair, the parent, the student, me. I'm the specialist that evaluate other specialists that are involved, like a diagnostician. We have meetings for every child that qualifies for services or who doesn't qualify. If we're dismissing services, we have meetings for children that might have special needs, okay? And so we have meetings for them. We also have, we evaluate children, and so, or we reevaluate them. Every 3 years, we have to evaluate kids. And so we have to see if they continue to qualify, if they don't. We have meetings to qualify them, initial meetings. It's a lot. And so I have to write evaluation reports after I evaluate them in the area that's of concern. I also have to do therapy with them. So they all receive speech therapy services, and they all have different times. So our speech department, we have different meetings every so often. We have to talk about what's going on in the department. It's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of therapy. It can be a lot with the job. Okay. I will say. I gave you a mouthful. Of course, there's probably something I'm missing, but it can be a lot. And then you add in disability.
Okay.
And it makes it way harder.
Okay, so I'm just trying to picture it, right? So it's like I'm picturing like the middle school, right? Like a lot of little kids. And so you go to like each class, you have like one class and they go there, and how many students do you work with in one period?
I'll walk you through Wednesday. So this coming up Wednesday, I go to work. School starts for the kids at 8:30, so I get to work at 8. I go to my room, get out of my car. I have bags with me, so I have activities that I've printed out, prepared for the kids. I know I have my schedule written out, so I know that I'm going to see 5 groups of kids, 5 groups, 3 kids in each group. So 3 times 15 kids.
15.
I'm going to see 15 kids that day, and I already know my first group starts at 10. So I'm there at 8. I have my bags. I push up the ramp. I get inside. I get started. So I lay out all the materials that I'm going to work with the kids. If we're going to do hot potato that day, if we're going to watch a video, whatever activities I've prepared, I have that ready to go. So I have from 8 to 10 before I see my kids to work on meetings. I call some parents if I need to ask them some questions about kids. I go and observe some kids if I need to observe them in their classrooms. So I do that. And then I see my first group. Typically, I'll go get the kids, or I'll call the teachers' classrooms. That's what I had to learn last school year. Calling their classrooms is way easier than pushing to their rooms.
Yeah.
So I call their rooms. I call the classrooms. And the kids know when their speech day and times are.
And they probably want to leave class.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. A lot of them do. But the thing is, I have to pull them out of certain classes. So I can't pull them out of core classes like English, math, science. I have to pull them out of electives. And they don't want to be pulled out of, not all of them. Sometimes they like their band or karate classes. And so it's a struggle sometimes getting them to leave their PE classes or theater arts, whatever their electives are. But they come to speech, we do therapy, then I have to document what I did. I can't just do therapy. I have to put it in the system, what I did. And so I just document. I see my other 4 groups. Somehow I get lunch. If I get an email, I have to respond to emails. If they have questions about other kids. I'm getting emails about coordinating meetings with other staff members. I'm answering questions. So it's ongoing. And so I have lunch, 30 minutes. Then I'll see other kids if I need to. Typically, I like to stay on one campus for that day. And then on Fridays, I'll split my day, and I'll go to one school in the morning and one school in the afternoon. But it's just a busy day. It's always something going on.
How physical would you say that it is?
It can be pretty physical because you're carrying your materials and you're pushing up the ramps. Opening doors is also a challenge if there's no handles on the doors, if it's a knob. Opening door, I mean, it was stressful. Actually on Friday, I got up a ramp and got my strength to open the door, and the door, I couldn't pull it with my hand, so I had to wait.
So somebody got there?
So somebody got there. It was a student that opened the door for me. It could just be a lot. And then using the bathroom, I don't have the ability to hold it. I don't have bladder control. So when I got to go, I got to go.
Can you tell when you have to go?
And I can tell usually because I always drink coffee. I have to have my coffee in the morning or tea.
Yeah, me too. I love coffee.
I have to. One or the other, but I have to have my coffee, and then I drink water in the morning. So it's like about 2 hours into my workday, I'm going to the bathroom. So I can kind of time it, but it depends. And so It can be really physically challenging. It really can be.
But you don't have to like pick the kids up or
But the
anything
job,
like that.
yeah, outside of the disability, I wouldn't say it's too physical. No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't because of the children I work with. I don't
Because they're in middle school.
Yeah, because they're older. Exactly. Yeah, I don't work with young babies, which that would probably be more physical.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would say.
I would double think about that.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to consider that if you're going to work in this field. Just think about the population you're going to be working with. If you're in a wheelchair,
and if you can transfer to the floor, like I think I would do children.
Yeah, if you could transfer on the floor, then yeah,
like
maybe
easily.
you can do young kids. Yeah, if you can do elementary, that's why I did elementary all last year, and it can just be a lot of energy that you put in. You know, especially working with kids, you have to have that energy. You can't come in and be like, "Hey guys," you know.
No, you can't. No,
You can't do that. You know, and so. I really ultimately do want to work with adults. So, and that's the beautiful thing about speech pathology is that you can work with people at the beginning stages of
in the
life
ICU
or at the end, right? You can work
Yeah.
with babies all the way to geriatrics. Yeah, hospice. You can work in the ICU, the hospital, outpatient. There's all kind of areas you can work in with speech, which is awesome.
Did you have to take like what's that called? That CPR test? Did you have to take that?
Oh yeah, I had to get my CPR.
How was that?
Oh, CPR was crazy. I'm not gonna say it was.
Do
crazy.
they adapt it differently to you?
Yeah. They came to
How?
my apartment. Yeah, so I had to get trained. Yeah,
And they came to your apartment? Why?
yeah, they did. Because it was an option and I took it. Really?
So take advantage of it, guys.
Yeah, they came to me. Yeah, which was
That is
awesome.
awesome.
I don't know how much I paid. I want to say like $40 or $50, but it was one-on-one and it was one man. I did CPR one time in a class, and the person teaching us, he was really nice. I didn't have to get physical with the dummy that they use.
Oh, no?
No, I didn't have to do that. I just observed. That's how I got it. And to me, it was just learning how to do it so I could tell somebody else.
Teach somebody.
Yes. So
Yeah.
if I'm out and somebody passes out, I can talk them through it. Maybe I won't personally work with them, but
Right.
somebody else will. But yes, they'll come to your
Oh,
house.
that is awesome.
They will. They'll come. And he came to me. He trained me. Yep. And it was awesome.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. I feel like if you're a quad, I mean, you can do whatever you want, right? But I feel like we would recommend, maybe like middle school or high school.
Yeah, middle school, high school, or even adults if you want to. You know, you can work in nursing facilities. There's something called a skilled nursing facility. I'm personally trying to work in right now. That's like a second job I'm thinking about getting. Just on the weekends, working with adults. Because I love working with older people. It just brings me so much joy. And I love working with kids too. I do.
Right.
I love any of the kids that might listen to this. I love working with y'all. But it's just I like working with adults too. It's just it brings me so much happiness. Yeah. That's just where like I feel like I flourish the most. Like I do my best. Yeah. So if you haven't heard of speech language pathology, consider that field. And if you have questions, hit up Milz. She'll get the question to me or hit me up, whatever. But yeah, it's definitely a field I didn't know that much about before. I mean, there's so many things, so many fields that like people don't talk about. They always talk about nurses, doctors, PTO. They talk about those obvious careers, but there's so many. You can get like a certification, or you can go get a trade, right? Is that what you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can, if you don't want to go to school for 4 6 years.
Yeah, because that's a lot.
That's a lot of
It's
school.
a lot.
Not everybody has it in them. Not everybody does. I wish it didn't have to take me that long. But you can go to school. You can get a trade for like, I don't know, a year or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can be very successful.
Yeah.
But last question about your job, right? Do you love it?
Yeah, I do love it.
Oh.
I love my job.
Oh, that is so awesome.
I love my job. I mean, and the best part of it is that I'm teaching kids and educating them about my disability as well. Not only am I helping them with their communication problems, but I'm educating them and I'm showing them, hey, that girl has a disability and she's living her life. She's working. Some of the kids will come up to me and be like, are you a teacher? I'm like,
yeah,
I do. I work here. Yeah, I'm a speech therapist. I don't get offended when they say teacher. I don't mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tell them, yep, I work here. That's right. And they're just like, oh my gosh. One kid Friday actually was like, ma'am, your legs still don't work. And I'm like, no, they don't. Kids can say some interesting things.
Right, they
say.
can.
They really can.
I let them slide.
Yeah,
They're kids.
I do.
So it's cool. But if it's like an adult, be like, come on, man.
I know. One kid, he was like, ma'am, are you married? And I was like, well, you think I'm married? He was like, I mean, you got to get out of that wheelchair first. And I was like,
no.
no. And I was just like, like, wow, people in wheelchairs can get married too.
Yeah.
We do. They don't see it a lot, but it definitely happens. I wasn't offended though. Now, if an adult said that,
Yeah, that's a different
a little
story.
different.
But talking about like adults, right? Do the adults at school treat you different? Have you noticed any discrimination? Do they talk to you different? Do they like talk to you like, oh my God, you're such like a baby? Like, can you tell us like how that is?
Yeah, so for the most part, adults, I mean, when they see me in the beginning, they're kind of a little apprehensive, like, who is this woman? Who is this lady? They'll ask me, do you need help, ma'am? And some of them do, they'll try to talk down to me. They'll baby me, oh, sweetie, and until they find out, my role on campus. I'm the speech therapist, and I don't say it in a rude way. I just inform them I work here as well. And, they're really nice. For the most part, most people are really nice. They help me out. And I appreciate the help, I do. I need it.
Yeah, we do as quads.
For real.
I don't get offended when somebody opens a door for me.
No.
Do you?
No, I don't at all.
Yeah, neither do I.
I don't mind. Sometimes I'm feeling, really, ambitious or independent. And I'm like, I can do it myself. But half the time I'm like, thank you. I appreciate it. Especially.
Same.
Yeah, I don't get upset. Especially if my lap is filled with a lot of stuff or I just pushed up a ramp. I'm looking for the help. I am. So, no, I don't get upset by that.
That's cool.
No,
yeah.
Maybe if you push me without asking, I might get a little annoyed.
Yeah, well, that's different. That's like touching you.
Yeah. I don't like that, but open the door, please.
But yeah, like, have you noticed any like weird things or?
Not really. Most teachers are pretty nice. I feel like now that they do know me, I feel like when I do ask them a question, they're kind of like, what is it? Thinking I'm going to ask them to help me with something or pick something up and it's not always that. And so I do notice that a little bit. They're not as eager as they were in the beginning because it's
to help you.
No, not as eager to help. And I try not to take advantage and ask them all the time. I really don't. But some days, especially with this Houston heat, girl, it's hot. And after I get out of the car, y'all, I just need the biggest bottle of water. I'm so hot. I'm dehydrated out there. I mean, it's tiring doing what we're doing. I'm not going to lie. I think about it sometimes when I'm going through it, and I still think about that girl that wanted all of this, but it's a lot, okay? It is a lot, and I'm grateful for where my life is now, and I think about when I was in the ICU, but man, sometimes I just want to stay in bed. Sometimes I just want to chill, I want to take off that ambitious part of me and just be lazy, I do. There's nothing wrong with that, No. There's nothing wrong with that sometimes. Just want to chill. But I'm happy where my life is, but it can be a lot. It can.
But I'm happy for you. I feel like you're living a life that like I want. Like I really do aspire to live your life. Like, guys, she lives on her own. Like she literally lives on her own. Like I live with my parents, right? I'm really grateful for that. But it's just like you're a quad and like you live on your own. Like, can you share a little bit about that? Like, how long has it been that you've been living by yourself? Did you ever doubt yourself? Like, I know you mentioned that you're closest to your parents, earlier when we were talking off camera. Mm-hmm. So, like, how was that? Like, did they feel like did you feel like they were, like, holding you back from it? Were they supportive? Like, how often did they go help you? Like, can you tell us about groceries?
Yeah,
like,
girl.
Can you give us a little bit of about that before we do end the podcast?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, moving out was something that was really scary. I moved out when I was 25. My accident was when I was 18. So many years later, I decided to move. I moved to U of H was the first place I moved to. I lived on campus. I didn't live in a dorm. It was an apartment on campus. And so it was accessible. Yeah, it was 100% accessible. I loved it there. I stayed there, I think, 2 years. And it was great. Excuse me. It was great living there. I learned a lot about. I couldn't wash my clothes. My mom would come by like every weekend and pick my clothes up and wash them. Cooking was something that was hard. I learned to use the stove, but it was hard for me. But I learned a lot. And then after I lived at U of H, when I went off to school on the East Coast, can you hear me?
Yeah, wait.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I thought I was going in and out. Okay.
No, yeah.
But when I moved to go to school on the East Coast, I lived on my own there. And when I say on my own, I lived without my parents, but I had a roommate. So I feel like when I say on my own, my roommate might be like, or
I did help you.
I know. I was there too. You weren't completely on your own.
Yeah.
So my ex roommate was there too. But yeah, so I did live on my own 2 places. And it was challenging. It was. I'm not going to lie, because, taking out the trash was something I had to think about. Cooking for myself, showering, took a lot of bed baths. I had to do that because it was a lot of work, just getting in the shower.
And getting dressed.
getting dressed was
Yeah.
something. You know, I didn't have my mom coming in, help me with my pants and
Or your bra. Do you
or my
struggle with your
bra.
bra? I do.
You do?
Yeah, with my bra, yeah.
You do?
Or like ponytails.
Yeah. Oh, girl, ponytails is something else.
Yeah.
You see my hair's down. Ponytails are really hard.
Same.
Girl, yes. I kind of learned a trick though. I put my head down in my lap.
Mm-hmm.
You do
Yeah,
that
that's what I
too?
do. Yeah.
Oh, girl, yes. Okay, she knows. That's what I do. Put my hair in a ponytail. But yeah, it was just a lot. Taking out the trash, I have to put the trash on my lap, and then I learned, you know, not to let the trash bag get too heavy, so that I can carry it. So it's just using more trash bags than normal. But in order for me to take the trash out, I can't have it be too heavy of a bag. So I put the trash bag on my lap, and then I carry it out. Whew, it's a lot. You just have to think about every little thing. I mean, you become a planner almost, you know, when you become more independent, you have to think things through. You can't even be spontaneous. If you were, you have to give that up. I mean, I work so much around having a plan. I have to. Even friends or people that call me, like, you want to do something this day? I'm like, I don't know. You know, does it fit into my I have to know things ahead of time.
Yeah, and I think because it takes us so long to do certain things.
Yeah.
Like taking a shower,
Absolutely.
doing my hair,
Absolutely.
the makeup,
Yeah.
especially if like your mascara like falls and then you put it back but then it falls, and that's happened so many times.
So much. And then
Yeah.
sometimes after all that work, it's like, I don't even want to go anymore. I'm tired.
I'm frustrated.
I'm frustrated. Yes. It can just be so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving out was a lot. But I'm more confident than ever with it. I've learned to cook. I was using the microwave a whole lot in the beginning, but I'm more comfortable now with cooking and being on my own. Even just, I remember the first time I fell when I lived at U of
What
H.
happened?
Girl.
What did you call?
So that day I put on a bunch of oil on my body. I was feeling good, you know.
Okay.
I was moisturizing. So I put some oil on.
I was like, let me not ask, but okay.
Girl, I was by myself. But I got in the bed and I reached for something in my chair and I slipped.
No.
I slipped, y'all. But the crazy
Did
thing
you get hurt?
No, I didn't.
Okay, good.
I was literally like, if you can imagine, I was like, I had my right arm on the ground and my body was in the bed and I was holding myself.
Oh, so it was like a slow fall.
Yes, like I was like holding my body up with my right arm. And for like 5 minutes, I had myself and I didn't have the strength to push myself back in the bed. And so my arm gave out on me and I fell and I called. I happened to have my phone. My mom lived 30 minutes away from U of H. She couldn't just be there instantly. So I was kind of like, I had to be calm. Like when you fall, you have to be the calm one because everybody else will freak out. But you have to be like, okay, if you freak out, everybody else will go crazy. So you stay calm.
You have to get it together before somebody
to.
gets there. Yeah.
You have to. And so I fell and I called downstairs and U of H, they were like, well, we don't want to be liable. We can't pick you up. We got to call the police. And I was like, no, like don't call 911. And so luckily the security guard had seen me a bunch of times and he was like, I'll get her. So he came up and picked me up.
Oh, that's so sweet. Shout out to him.
Right.
Yeah,
and he put me in bed and he was like, anything else? And I was
like, no, I'm embarrassed now.
When I tell you that same security guard had my back. Like one time I wore an outfit and my friend had to zip me up in the back.
Okay.
And when I got home, I was like, shit, I forgot to ask her to unzip
No.
me. So I was like, I called downstairs and I said, this is really weird, but can you unzip my dress? And he was like, sure, I'll be right up, you know, and he did it, you know.
How old was he? Was it weird?
I was probably at the time, maybe 21.
And what about him?
Oh, he was maybe 28, 20. He wasn't like super old. He
Was it
older.
cute? Ooh.
Girl, wasn't even looking at him. I mean, he was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. I'm sure it was like uncomfortable.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Okay, zip by.
I
Like,
know.
He didn't want to make eye contact.
And that's exactly. He really didn't.
That's cool.
He really, really
Like,
did.
he just did it because, like, I mean, like, you needed the help.
Yeah, of
so
course.
That's
Now,
cool.
if I was probably maybe an able-bodied woman, I don't know if he would have done that.
No,
I don't
yeah,
think so,
no.
But
Not
he
at all.
definitely helped me out. But I learned so much. Oh my goodness, and even like I remember the first time like I didn't try to make friends, but like I went back to my apartment and
The apartment you live in now?
Yeah, not my apartment now. I'm sorry. When I was at U of H,
Yeah.
when I was on campus, I went back to the apartment I was living at.
So going back to your apartment, right? Like, I don't know. I'm just really excited that, you know, you live on your own. Like, it's like a big deal.
Yeah.
Because every time my dad like talks about, like every time I talk about like, hey, you know, I can't wait to get my house, like an accessible house. Like I can't wait. Like, you know, I want everyone to go and feel welcome. Like I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, like it's gonna be weird when I get there. Like, oh, like I don't know if I should eat that because I don't fit in the restroom. Like I want everyone that goes to my house to feel welcome, right? So I don't know. I'm really excited about that. And every time I tell my dad about that, he's like, "Oh, you're never moving out." And I'm like, "Why not? Like, you're giving me bad vibes right now." And then he's all like, "Well, no, we're gonna live together always." And I'm just like, "Well, you're gonna go to my house and live in my accessible home." And he's like, "No." So it's just kind of like a little back and forth like that. But I don't know. Like, I feel like it's really inspiring and motivating that like I know somebody in real life. Like, I can touch you, and you live alone, right? So like, can you tell us like something you would have done differently before signing the lease? Like, do you like it? Do you like living alone? Like, what's the hardest thing living alone? Can you tell us like those little three things? Yeah.
Well, the first thing I would say is that living alone, a part of it is just like knowing when you need help too. So I do live alone, but my mom does still come by.
How often does she go?
Maybe like once a week she'll stop by.
Okay.
Sometimes twice, but you know, she will come over every day if I allowed her. But yeah, my mom does come by and she does help out.
She sounds so sweet.
She's so sweet. Yeah, my mom, she's really the best. And my boyfriend, he'll help out too, you know.
So you have a boyfriend?
Yes, girl.
Okay.
Yes, and so yeah, they'll help me out cleaning wise. If I need help with the transfer,
Groceries?
yeah, not groceries.
Or you do the pickup?
I'll do not Uber Eats. I'm sorry, Instacart.
Okay.
I do Uber Eats though. But I'll do Instacart. So they'll deliver my groceries for me. I don't go grocery shopping anymore.
It's too much work.
Yeah, it's too much. But or sometimes I'll do pickup. I'll do Walmart pickup. So I'll drive there and they'll put them in my car.
Okay.
And I'll get the groceries out, or if somebody's with me, they'll help me out. But I'd say like the most challenging thing about living alone is just, I would say, probably the bathroom situation is probably the hardest part for me. That's just because I moved there. Everything was good there. The handles were good. Moving around the apartment, there's no carpet, but the bathroom situation, it's not 100% accessible. I can't get in the shower.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that would be something I would change just about that apartment. I was just kind of in a rush and I was ready to move out and I was excited, and that apartment was just perfect. It came with the built-in study, which I really liked. So I didn't have to buy a desk or bring one in. It was just a lot of things that I liked about it, but the bathroom, I just don't.
It's not
really
accessible.
like.
The shower.
It's not. No, it's not. And I regret that. And I just renewed my lease. So I'm there. But I mean, price wise, it just fit into my budget. It was a lot of things that I really do and, did and still do like about my apartment. But it's close to my job. So that's really good.
Mm-hmm. So you compromise the bathroom with everything else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, but that's the only thing that you struggle with.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
so if you guys just find an accessible, an accessible house,
for sure. Or if you have if you're comfortable doing bed baths, or if if you have family members that have accessible showers. My mom, there's a roll-in shower there, and so I'll go there, or I have help in my bathroom. Even I have friends that have gone to hotels and they'll just rent a hotel room, for a day and use the shower there. I mean, there's alternatives to things,
Yeah, that is true. Because I go to Planet Fitness and I always see like a lady taking a shower there. And at first I was like, oh, it's probably because she sweats a lot. But I was thinking about it like, not everyone has an accessible shower.
Right, absolutely.
And Planet Fitness has really accessible showers. Like, they're legit.
Right.
And like, not a lot of people like take a shower there. So for the most part, I would say they're clean, right? I mean, I would clean it first. So I
would too.
Yeah, I would clean it first.
I would too.
But I mean, that is an option for you guys to think about.
Absolutely.
Like, take a shower there.
Outside the box. Yeah, absolutely. You gotta do what you gotta do for sure. But I would say that's the only issue that
that's
I
the
have.
only thing.
Yeah.
That's good.
For sure. I'm happy.
I need to stop by one of these days.
Yeah, you have to come by for sure. I'm happy with it. I've seen other apartments. I toured other apartments that had just about everything. They had the accessible shower, but then I had to give up, other things about it that I didn't really like. I mean, it was more expensive, or it's just, you're never going to find something that has 100% everything. I mean, I haven't. I mean, maybe you can. Let me know. But I personally haven't found something that had everything that I was looking for. I wanted a parking garage because it rains outside, and maybe the bougie person in me, but my second apartment had a parking garage, and I don't think I'm going back. I love having a garage connected to my apartment. And so I know that when it's raining, I'm not going to get rained on. I like that. There's just certain things that I look for personally, when I'm looking for an apartment. But do your research. And start early, because that's something else I learned. I was trying to look for an apartment right before my lease was up. And so my apartment was like, you need to let us know. And I'm like, oh, I don't know yet. I'm still looking. And so give yourself time. I probably should have started 6 months before that, you know. So like my lease is up in, I don't know, July next year. So I'm probably going to start in February or March.
Looking soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
way sooner. Yes. If I want to move. Because, you know, next year's plan is hopefully a house, you know, crossing my fingers. So we'll see.
Sending you good vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. And if you need anything adapted, you need a ramp, whatever it is, and an accessible shower, let us know. Because I'm gonna be doing all of that good stuff.
Yes, girl. I'm gonna hit you up.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
But I just want to thank you so much for being here again. Like I'm really thankful that you're here. Like really thankful that you're like motivated me to like study and take my GRE book from there and make it happen. Because like you're living your life. Right. So and that's what like I really want to do one day. So again, I'm really happy that you're here, that you know gave us your time for this podcast. But for sure in the future we have to like get together and do more podcasts, or even like how-to videos, like show like how you put your chair together, how I put my chair together, because at the end of the day, yeah, we are quads. We're different levels, right, of quads. She's actually a lower level. I'm a C5. So our finger function and our strength is really different, because every spinal cord injury is very unique, right? It's very unique, and it's really like cool and awesome. Oh, I stuttered also.
No, you're fine.
You're gonna be like, you need a lot of speech therapy, Milz. I do. I stutter a lot.
We all do it. We all do it. But yeah, it's cool to see how we're so different and unique. You know, even though our injuries are close, you know, similar, but they're not exactly the same.
Yeah, we have different abilities for sure. Yeah,
definitely.
So maybe that could be like another podcast, or maybe just like a video of showing how we do things differently. But we're just gonna go ahead and end it like this, guys. You know how it goes. See ya. Don't wanna be ya.
Bye.
Thank you for watching my video, guys. See ya. Don't wanna be ya.